What's going on, people? It's your man, T Peasy, man. Look, I'm about to do a breakdown of from man Tony, his barbecue cooking. Butter Nice Shouty out of Atlanta, Georgia. He stayed close to the Lenox Mall. And look, I've done food festivals. I know we had the King's Food Festival at Austin. So I've ate a lot of food. I travel all over America and I love barbecue. I stop and I get barbecue. I've got the North Carolina vinegar barbecue. I don't like it too much. I've got the Memphis barbecue. I've had the St. Louis barbecue. Y'all seen the video with the St. Louis barbecue. I go everywhere and I eat barbecue. I love barbecue. It's one of my favorite, like, top 3 foods I like to eat. Look here, man. I found me a barbecue guy. I found one. Look here. Hey, my man on this big green egg cooking this barbecue. When I said the smoke is in it so good, like he had some barbecue sauce that he gave us to try, and the barbecue sauce was good. Y'all hear me? It was 2 different kinds. I didn't even know which one I liked the most. I was trying to go back and forth, switching. And now this is like on plate number 3. Because the first plate, I didn't use no sauce. It didn't need no sauce, y'all. Y'all don't understand what I'm talking about. It did not need sauce. He already had sauce and spice in it where you was overwhelmed with the spice and the sauce and the smoke. You was good. You was happy with the tenderness, the juice coming out of the meat. You was happy with it. So let me break down the food categories and give y'all a little piece of what I thought. All right. Now I'm going to say this right here. If you was to eat the greens, the pork ribs, baby back ribs, and something else that was spicy, the chicken. If you was to eat all 3 of these back to back, you would start to like question yourself. Like, do I need to get some water? And is the air conditioner on? Like, you would start to get a little flamed up a little bit. So in the summertime, I don't know if this is a good go to the park barbecue with this spice. And you have to tell them, hold the spice. Hold the spice, because in February, January, if you eat this barbecue, you can take your sweater off and eat this barbecue, because it's going to warm you up. It's going to warm you up. My sister called it barbecue turned up a notch. And the chicken, she called it kicking chicken, because the chicken was spicy. You hear me? You hear me? But the greens too. The greens had a little spice on them. You know how you have black folks? We had that bottle of peppers in that jar that you sprinkle on your greens. This was already sprinkled on the greens. It was already in there. So that's my only regret is I want to taste the greens without the spice. Because sometimes when it's the spice, I can't enjoy the food all the way. So if that's one critique I would say, have on your menu, spicy, not spicy. The spicy is not too hot. It's not too hot to where when you use the bathroom later on, you're going to feel it come out the back end. It's not like that. It's not like you got to drink water behind it. But it's just my barbecue, I'm used to tasting barbecue, not spice. So it's different. It's a different taste. Best thing on the menu to me, macaroni. That macaroni, man, look, it tastes like, you ever eat some good mashed potatoes that's real, like, creamy kind of mashed potatoes, that thickness, and it's like, man, it was thick. I don't know what kind of cheese he had in there, but it's just like, it just kind of ran together. You could taste the noodles, but the cheese was so intertwined with the noodles, it just flowed. It was like a nice little, look, and he had smoke in it. Some people don't like that smoke. I love that. It's like I could smell the smoke like going across my nose when I'm eating macaroni. Like it was that good. I'm telling y'all, like the macaroni would disappear first. Like everything, because we kept going back. Everybody kept going back here and getting plates like Thanksgiving. Like I had that Thanksgiving feel after eating this food. Like the next day, I didn't even know if I needed to eat anything. I was like, I just need to sit back and just let this food digest, because I ate too much. Like I'm talking about, we was hitting it. My brother-in-law, all the sister, everybody was hitting it. We was getting up, coming back, getting seconds. I'm glad my brother wasn't there because he probably would have came in there with the heavy hitter and started eating up all the food. But little joke on my brother. But the food was great, man. The chicken, I want him to do a salad with the chicken because that spice in there. I think that spice in that chicken with a salad will give you that extra something. You know, when you eat a salad, you kind of feel like you're missing something. This spice on this chicken will have like an interest in your salad, make your salad have a personality. I think that's one thing he need to look into because that chicken was nice, but it just needed something. You needed some bread. You needed something to break that spice. You know, all the meat was prepared right. Like the beef ribs, when we would squeeze the beef rib, you could see the juice. And then time you unsqueeze it, the juices just go back in the meat. Like, what? Where does this happen at? I called his beef ribs Bam Bam ribs. Because you remember Fred Flintstone when they put the big rib on the car and it flipped over? One of these ribs can feed 3 people. The big beef ribs. Y'all know them beef ribs was, and man. And let me tell you about the beef rib. You had to cut it with a knife, right? You couldn't just go in there and break it apart. You had to cut it with a knife. You know how some barbecue you pull the bone and the bone slip out? No. The bone staying in there. It's staying in the meat. But the meat is so tender, when you bite it, it just fall off. Like now it's time to separate. When you bite it with your teeth, it just separate into your mouth. But you got to use a knife to cut it. You understand that? That's some real nice precision barbecuing right there. That's when you really know what you're doing. If it falls off the bone too much, that ain't right. If you got to bite it and pull on it and fight with it, that ain't right. When you got to cut it, but when you bite it and it slip off in your mouth, that's when you know you got some real good barbecue now. And when you don't have to use the sauce, I forgot about the sauce. Then I looked over there, I said, oh man, I forgot to use the sauce. And then I was just trying to try the different. I was like, well, I like this one. I like this one. I'll keep going back and forth with the sauce because they was good. But I like the regular smoke taste of it. The marinade, whatever you already had on there was already good enough. So I was kind of confused. I didn't know what to do. Should I just enjoy the cooking of the chef or should I enjoy the sauce? Man, the beans he threw the beans in last. I called him and I said, I want to try to taste all your sides. The beans was a safe spot. I'm not going to say the beans weren't good. The beans weren't great. The beans they're a little sweet. They didn't have no meat in them. But if you ate something spicy or if you ate like a bunch of meat, like eating that beef rib, you could go back to the beans. Like if you got a lot of smoke in your mouth or a lot of spice in your mouth, you can go back to the beans as a safe spot to start your palate back over, to start to get your mouth back neutral to eat something else. And that's what I noticed I was doing with the greens. I mean, not with the greens, with the beans. The greens had meat in them, but I didn't eat the meat. I think because I had so much other meat to eat and it had a little spice on it. So it was just, I couldn't enjoy the greens like I wanted to because I had so much going on, I think. But the beef ribs, some of the best beef ribs I ever tasted. That macaroni, some of the best macaroni I ever tasted. The baby back ribs, it's nice. I was loving them too. I was loving them. You know, like everything was good. Nothing was bad. But that macaroni and them beef ribs and them baby back ribs, I gotta have it again. I need it in my life. So y'all get in contact with my man, Butter Nice Shouty. Cause when you eat the food, you will be like, Shouty.